Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today will be a bit of a coloring chat. I just wanted to kind of show how much of a difference just adding one layer to something can make. So this is in the Chibi Girls by Jade Summer Grayscale 2 books in 1, and I've already gone over everything with alcohol and marker except for this area right here. And it already looks really good, but I just wanted to show how adding even just one extra layer can make a difference. The color that I'm using for the deeper parts of her hair is Tuscan Red Prismacolor. It's PC 937. And I just realized that I left my pencil sharpener in the room that my son is napping in, so I'm gonna have to make do with the stub. So if you don't have access to a sharpener and your pencil is really low, you could risk it by using a X-Acto knife or something, but another thing is to just use the side and flick up. So I'm just adding in where the shadows are and where some of the lines are, just to add a little bit of extra depth. Now I could have done the darker with alcohol markers, but when I was coloring at the time, I was just in the mood to straight color and not do any blending, so I figured if I wanted to later, I could just add pencil on top. This also helps take away some of the muddiness that you get in the grayscale, like right here, there's that muddiness. The pencil helps to cover that up a little bit. So it just makes it look a little nicer. And the nice thing about grayscale is your shadows are already figured out, so you just really have to apply the darker color where you see the shadow guide. Sorry if that's wiggling at all. And yeah, you can already tell there's quite a difference. You see the highlights a little bit more, a little bit nicer that way. Also, the nice thing about using a pencil on top of marker for certain things is you get a nice texture, whereas if you were to blend it with marker, it would be more smooth. So if you do want texture, this is a good technique, is to do your base color with a marker and then go over with pencil. Well, I hope everybody's had a good summer. I don't know about anywhere else, but school has already started back up where we are. So I've got to be more attentive to the times that I decide to run errands, because it gets crazy when school gets out for the day, because our house is right next to a junior high, an elementary school, and a high school, so we get all of that traffic flow, and we're close to one of the streets that a lot of people get to their work offices, so it's kind of crazy. And the late afternoon and the evening is insane. and lunchtime. Okay, I am loving this red hair so much. So while I was coloring this, at first I thought it was seen in France, but I'm pretty sure it's actually in Venice because there's this water and there's a bridge. I could be wrong though, I don't know. Never been to France before, so I can't really say anything, I guess. This could be in France somewhere. And I would not know. Plus she's got the poodle and the bread and the beret. She just looks French, but if anyone knows, it is my dream to be able to travel and go to a bunch of different countries. I just think it's cool. Okay, so there's her hair. Let me do her dress. That'll be another really good, oh, sorry about the jiggle. That will be another really good example for showing how just one extra layer can add so much more depth. So I'm going to be using, let's see, probably yellow to orange. So 1002. Oh, is this one really yellow? Okay, that one needs to be sharpened. So I'm going to do the next closest and do Sunburst Yellow, which is 917. Is that one? Oh wow, that one's really low too. This one is less low though. Okay, so I'm using 917 Sunburst Yellow for Prismas. And just following the shadows on her skirt. Like that. Now, you won't be able to lose all the murkiness of the gray just because it is a lighter color, but it covers it up pretty well, I would say. Okay, and then there's a shadow right here. And you can use this same thing on a non-grayscale book. I do this all the time too, where you do a layer of marker and then you go over with the darker pencil. So it's a really easy way to learn how to shade without having to spend loads and loads and loads of time. And it's really a nice technique for Create Space paper because you don't have to worry about burnishing the paper because the marker covers all of the seam, gets in all those little seams, but at the same time you can't layer as much on top of marker, but you can still, yeah, see, I am like, this is why you need a pencil sharpener. Down to the stub. Now, if you are this low down, you want to be really careful because, especially with pressure, because the wood can scratch into the paper and it will also transfer the next layer down. But thankfully, her dress doesn't have too much crazy shading. Just a little bit. Like that. Okay, and then I'll do her shoes, but I'll use the other yellow that I was going to use, the yellow to orange. go. Okay. Now, I'll do her skin. So her skin tone on here is pretty pink. So I'll probably do Nectar, which is $10.92. I really need to get in the habit of sharpening my pencils if they're low before I put them back in the case. That would be a really good habit to start. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit tricky because I want the skin to still be smooth. But thankfully it's a shadow, and so it doesn't need to be a sharp line. The are, yeah, completely smooth. It can, I guess what I'm trying to say is it not burnishing down creates a softer shadow effect. If that makes sense. Let's see, just soften that up a little bit. Okay, so there's one leg. Okay, so there's a sharp shadow right there. And then I'll go over it where that shadow is. Now I'm trying to figure out what to do with this poodle because I haven't colored it yet. And I want it to be a white poodle, but the grayscale makes it a gray poodle. So I want to try to figure that out. Whether I use a little bit of gesso or something, or gouache over the top of it and then color it in, or just color the face and the legs and hope. Or I can make it a black poodle, but I just think a white poodle makes the picture pop. Yeah. But we shall see. I will let you know in my completed video how I figured that out. Okay, shadows on the finger. And this, I really like grayscale because I don't have to think about putting my shadows that's already been figured out, so it's a little bit more mindless coloring. The biggest tricky thing is figuring out the colors. I'm also curious because this book has so much detail, and every page is so unique. I'm also curious how much time the artist spent on the drawings. Now obviously they're drawn digitally, but that doesn't mean that it's any less hard to get them drawn and stuff. So I guess I'm just curious how long it took to illustrate this book, because, well, obviously it was a 2-in-1, so they have the separate book for each of these, but even still, the timeline for both books, I'm curious about. Because I can guess that deadlines are pretty crazy. Okay, I just realized I need to color the blue on her dress to make it seem more complete. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay, so for the blue, I'm going to do light cerulean blue, which is 904. Oh, and this one is sharpened. Okay. And then the blue on her little socks. And then her cute little hat. Reminds me, well, I'm pretty sure it's spray, but it reminds me of those newspaper boy hats. Okay. I'm also trying to figure out what color to do her eyes because I feel like they could be green or blue or brown, and all of those would be really pretty. So let me know in the comments below what color you think I ought to do for her eyes. Because I am indecisive. Okay, there we go. Planning on that hat is not my best work, but it got the job done. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. I just wanted it to be a quick and simple video just to show how much even just one layer can do. And if you want to do pencil, I would say do the dark first and then go light. Oh, sorry. But for marker, do the lighter color that you want and then do dark. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video was helpful and encouraging, and I hope to see you next time. Happy coloring!